The recording is live, and my microphone, let me just make sure the microphone is working. Microphone is working. All right. So I teach using my iPad just like this. So I rarely use the board, if ever. Unfortunately, for this class, the TVs are not at an angle. So it's a little uncomfortable to kind of keep your heads up. But as best as we can, we're going to try to follow through with this particular approach for the rest of the semester. Now, again, my name is Supreet Prasad. My name is written at the very top of the syllabus. Before we get into any further details about the class, my office hours are Mondays and Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So that's after the end of our lab every Monday and Wednesday. In other words, stick around after lab's finished and my office hours will be there. The important part I want you to notice is where it's located. Now, I'm kind of running three roles this semester. I'm teaching. I'm also, for some of you may recognize me, I'm also the director of the Student Success Center as well as the MESA program. For this semester, at least until October 24th, I will be located in room 859. This is 843, so 859 is just right across. You just have to go outside and go into the next building. So super close to here if you ever need me. My office hours will be in the room or it'll be available on Zoom if you're able to join. After August 24th, I'll be going back to almost entirely a Zoom link appointment, a remote appointment. So as we get closer to that, I'll remind you guys. And of course, you can just generally contact me for an appointment. Now, today, of course, we're here today for Chem 1A. Make sure you're, of course, in the right classroom. We'll meet for lectures Mondays and Wednesdays, 12 p.m. to 1:15. Then there's a 15-minute break, and then lab. Now, the lecture is, of course, held in room 843 here. The lab in room 604 is in another building. It's in the 600 building. As we'll see in the course schedule, not every lab will we be heading over to the 600 building. Some labs we will be staying in this room. All right, that just depends on a case by case or week by week basis. So the official description of the course as per the course catalog: fundamental principles of inorganic chemistry, nomenclature of inorganic compounds, chemical formulae, equations and reactions, stoichiometry, structure of atoms, ions, molecules, periodic table, oxidation, reduction, passivity, blah, 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 blah. A whole lot of content. Chem 1A goes through a lot of content in preparation for Chem 1B, and we do go at a fairly rapid pace. The first 3 to 4 weeks are a little bit slower because we're just kind of learning the very basics of it. But after the fourth week, we're going to kick things up a bit. The prerequisite for this class is a satisfactory completion of algebra, math 52 or equivalent. This course is transferable to both the UCs and the CSUs, and it is a requirement for Chem 1B. If you don't think you're in the right class, and you should maybe be in Chem 2A, which is just the level right before Chem 1A. It's an introductory chemistry, not general chemistry. For this class and its lab, you're going to need the following materials. Number one, a scientific calculator. I cannot stress this enough. Throughout the years, historically, the biggest enemy of Gen Chem students is their calculator. I highly recommend a TI-84. Okay, if you don't have one, that's okay. What at minimum I suggest is having a calculator with 2 lines of screen on it. That way you can not only see what you've inputted in the calculator, but then the answer. The simpler the calculator, the harder it is sometimes to catch your mistakes, especially in this course, which is incredibly math heavy. You're also going to need safety goggles. The safety goggles can be purchased at the bookstore. I believe they're around $5 or $10. If they're not available at the bookstore, you can, of course, purchase one at any retailer, such as Amazon, Home Depot, or Lowe's. I simply ask that you confirm with me which safety goggles you're purchasing, so I'll give it my stamp of approval. Goggles purchased at the bookstore have already been approved by the department, so you don't need to verify them with me. And then we'll talk, and then we'll have the Chem, oh, that should say 1A. Chem 1A lab manual. This is not a book for you to buy. It will be available as a PDF on Canvas. I will carry hard copies of the relevant lab pages to class or lab. To kind of give you guys a big overview of what the semester looks like, the department is trying out a pilot program for this manual. So just to kind of put it out there, there's going to be a couple weeks where we're sort of like, hey, this is a little confusing or not clear. That's kind of the point. We're testing out the program, the manual this semester. But there will be some mistakes, there will be some errors. Communicate them to me as soon as possible so that, of course, for future semesters, we can fix it. The textbook is the OpenStax chemistry textbook. It's second edition. It's provided to you as a PDF on Canvas. Now I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen from my tablet. No, from my computer. Huh, that is cool. I can do two sharings at the same time. That's actually really cool. Okay. Well, for right now, this is okay. What I want to draw your attention to is the Canvas page and how it's set up. As you probably already be able to tell, I consider myself very technologically accessible. A lot of my class is meant to be very tech savvy. So I will often use the Canvas page. I'll use a lot of other sources. All of this to really say I rarely collect hard copies of assignments. Of course, exams I'll collect in person and grade, but everything else will probably be submitted electronically. So here on this is a student view of Canvas. You'll see that we have a couple modules. We have a general module, a lecture module, a lab module, exams, and attendance. In the general module, you'll have the syllabus. You'll have my link to my office hours. You'll also have the OpenStax chemistry textbook, as well as some details regarding the group presentation this semester. You'll also have a Discord link right here, which I'll talk about in just a few moments. One of the important things I wanted to bring up on the Canvas page is this net tutor option over here on the left. Of course, this is biased by the fact that I'm the Student Success Center director, but the net tutor is a special initiative. It is a, whoops, email is required. That means I just don't have access yet. That's okay. Whoops, leave student view. What happens if I just click net tutor now? That fixes it. Great. Online tutoring program that is available to Woodland Community College students for free. It's part of a California Community College initiative. In addition to me, in addition to the Student Success Center, Net Tutor is available for you basically at your convenience and availability. It's not just for chemistry, it's available for all subjects across campus. But I, of course, will be pushing it because of my role in the Student Success Center. All right, anything else I want to mention on this page? No, not yet. Let's go back to Zoom. And now I'm going to, how do I stop sharing? All right, that's all to do it, which means I just now need to go back to my tablet. And then I'm going to share my screen. And hopefully this should trigger for all four screens. Yes. Great. I'm getting the hang of this now. Okay. All right. Safety requirements. As we get to our first wet lab, we'll talk a little bit more about the safety requirements, but they are short. They're written in short right here. Number one, safety goggles must be always worn during wet labs. Lab coats are recommended, not required. No open-toed shoes. Long hair must be tied back. And most importantly, no food or drink in the laboratory. By the end of this semester, you should be able to accomplish all of these student learning objectives. I'm only going to say the ones in bold. Number one, apply chemical nomenclature and stoichiometry. Analyze atomic structure and periodic trends. Number three, predict molecular structure and bonding. Number four, evaluate redox and acid-base reactions. And finally, number five, apply gas laws and thermodynamic principles. The second page, which I would like everyone to turn to, is now our schedule for the entire semester. On a regular basis, you should be checking the schedule. The schedule is going to be our gospel regarding what topics we're going to cover and what we'll be talking about in lab. Printing the syllabus in color should notice a couple things. Number one, the far right column, the one that says lab, has a whole bunch of different colors. Here's what I want you to write right now somewhere on your sheet. Orange means dry lab. Orange means dry lab. Green means wet lab. So I'll say that once again. On the far right column under lab, there are different colors. Orange means wet lab. Green means dry lab. I mix it up. Orange means dry lab. I apologize. Orange should be dry. Orange is dry. Green is wet. Thanks for catching that. I don't know why it's not popping up super well on this screen right here. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Oops. Orange is dry. And then green is wet. The difference between a dry lab and a wet lab is just the use of chemicals. Wet lab requires use of chemicals. That's when we'll be doing actual experimentation. On these days, you must come dressed appropriately. We're talking goggles, a recommended lab coat, long pants, your hair tied up, et cetera, et cetera. On the dry days, on the dry lab days, these are not experiments. These are workshops. Dry labs, so the ones in orange, will be held in this room, right? We will not be heading over to the lab space for dry labs because how dry labs work is I will carry a worksheet that we are going to go through together. I'm going to assign some problems, and some problems will be extra credit. So this schedule should be one of your go-to checks, at least whenever we have class, because it tells you, number one, if you should dress for a wet lab, and number two, what you can expect to do on a daily basis. Today, the very first row under August 11th is the course introduction syllabus review. That's what we're doing right now. We will not have a lab meeting today. So once I finish up with the review of the syllabus and attendance, we're done for today. And the next time I see you will be Wednesday. But come Wednesday, we're going to start talking about our Chem 1A content, starting with Chapter 1, and we will have a workshop that same day. That means you must come prepared. Calculator, your notebook, your pen or your pencil, scratch paper, all that nice stuff. The general idea behind this class is that you should be kind of compiling all of your notes, all of your scratch notes, all of your practice and all that stuff. Because as we get closer to the final, the material starts getting really cumulative and it's easy to kind of miss stuff. Now, there are a couple other cells here. Obviously, we have one holiday this semester, Labor Day. That's, of course, in that pale yellow. And then our exams are in blue. We have 4 exams, 4 module exams, and 1 final. The module exams will be held in this room, and you will have both the complete lecture and lab time to complete the exam. Now, I know this might scare some of you. This is telling me that, oh, if our class is from 12 to 4:30, does that mean that it's going to be a 5-hour long exam? No. I write my exams to take somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours, but you will have the entirety of lecture and lab to complete it. This is most accommodating to those who are enrolled with DSPS. While you are free to take advantage of your DSPS accommodations, generally speaking, with this adjustment, entire day for the exam, many students are able to complete the exam in the 4.5-hour allotment. Okay. I mentioned earlier that this class moves at a remarkable pace. You'll see under the lecture topics, there are some numbers in the bracket. Measurement says 1.1 to 1.6, then 2.1 to 2.4. These respond to the chapters in the textbook. So for Wednesday, we'll be covering chapters 1.1 to 1.6. Next Monday will be 2.1 to 2.4. Now, something that always gets brought up with students is, when it comes to the content covered and exams. Here is my promise to you right now today. You will only be tested on material covered in lecture only. What that means for you is if you're reading the textbook, if you're going on online resources, if you're working with a tutoring center, you might encounter different topics. Not necessarily, super different, but rather some resources will go deeper than we do. We will go deeper than other resources. It just depends. Your exams, your lecture exams will only be based on your lecture material. All right. So that's the number one reason that I encourage attendance, right? Attendance is required. It's part of your grade, but it's the best opportunity for you to know what's coming up. Okay. Anything else on this page? Yes. Get it out right now. You can note it down. Our final exam is on Wednesday, December 10th. 12 p.m. to 1:50. This is a slot set by the college. The final exam cannot be dropped. It cannot be rescheduled. It has already been scheduled. Wednesday, December 10th, 12 p.m. to 1:50 p.m. You will see right above it something called Chemistry in Our World presentations. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. The last thing I want to mention on this syllabus as well, or on the schedule, is the concept of lab exams. Now, this was part of that pilot program I mentioned that we're doing this semester. We will have 2 lab exams, one on October 27th, very much there at the top, and then the other on November 26th, right before Thanksgiving. Right, the lab exam is specific to lab, right? Part of the pilot program for this semester is across multiple Chem 1A courses. They want consistency in the lab. So the lab exams, everyone who's taking 1A, not just in this class, but in Dr. Dykes' class, will be doing the lab exam. It'll be standardized across different sections. What that means for you and ultimately for me is that it's my responsibility to adequately prepare you for the lab exam. Now, as we start our first lab, I'm going to start giving you some advice and tips on how to prepare for that. Since the first one's not for another, I would probably say 2 months, maybe 2.5 months, we're going to talk about in just a couple of weeks. Okay. Moving on to the next page, just talking about the course in specific. Number 1, lectures are conducted in person and are recorded. The recordings will be posted on Canvas as unlisted YouTube links. So after class, I get the recording from Zoom. I manually upload it to YouTube. I post that YouTube link on Canvas. The reason I prefer YouTube is that everyone knows how to use YouTube. You most likely have it as an app on your phone. It's easily accessible and very easy to understand compared to something like a Zoom recording. Keynote, it is an unlisted link. For those who don't know what that means, it means that you cannot search for them on YouTube. You must have the link to access them. So my request is that you do not share these YouTube links outside of this class or with any one of your classmates. All right. So these links will be posted on Canvas within I would probably say within a few hours of class ending. While these recordings serve as a supplement, they do not substitute for class attendance. I reserve the right to administer pop quizzes during lecture. All right. Now, all official course communication will be sent via Canvas. However, we do have a Discord server. The Discord server provides a platform for peer collaboration, invites questions about lecture and lab, and building confidence in chemistry knowledge. Now, whether you email me, Canvas message me, or Discord message me, I welcome messages of all types. And I try to respond within 24 hours on weekdays and 72 hours on the weekends. That being said, I am addicted to my phone. So don't be surprised if you send me a message on Discord at 2 a.m. and I respond at 2:07. Yeah, I'm addicted. I'll leave it at that. Of course, above all else, professional conduct is expected in all forums. So here's what we're going to do right now. I want everyone to join the Discord server. If you are enrolled in the class, please scan this QR code. If you are waitlisted, do not scan the QR code until you officially get off the waitlist. So I'll repeat myself. Those officially enrolled, please scan the QR code. You'll get the invite to the Discord server. If you are on the wait list, just wait until you get off the wait list. There is a link on Canvas. All right. If you've never used Discord before, I think it's fairly intuitive. It probably takes like 5 or 10 minutes to kind of get used to it. Uh, but play around with it, see how you feel about it. Okay. Like I said, there is a link on Canvas under the general tab. If you're on the wait list, you'll add yourself to the Discord right after. Now, this Discord channel is very useful for me. It's one of the areas that I will be able to place a lot of our immediate material. Once you join the Discord, the very first thing you're going to have to do is join your campus. I know it's not super visible right now from those in the back, but I'll be teaching at both Woodland as well as Casumnes this semester. This Discord server will have both Woodland and Casumnes, students. Please react to your specific campus. Maybe you can see it on the screen, but for Woodland, you'll be reacting that dog emoji. Once you react that dog emoji, you will get access to the Woodland channel, which has resources, announcements, and Ask Supreet. Now, this resources tab right here, I will also post those unlisted YouTube links in this channel, right? So if you have Discord on your phone, it just means that you'll have immediate mobile access to these links. This announcements channel, like I said, all official announcements will be sent through Canvas. But I may sometimes use this Discord channel for stuff like, hey guys, I'm running late. Hey guys, don't forget your calculators. Hey, don't forget we have a wet lab today. Dress appropriately. Hey, don't forget we have an exam this week. So just those quick, very quick update type messages that I think would be important. And then here we have the Ask Supreet channel. This is where you'll post the question, any question you have. Hey, professor, what are we doing this week? Hey, professor, I have problems on homework number 1. Hey, what are we doing with lab number 2, question number blah, blah. In this channel, you will post your question and I will respond as soon as possible. That's at 2 a.m. to 2:07 I mentioned. And of course, you're free to just PM me. I'll respond as quickly as possible. This is how the Discord server is going to work. It'll be one of your go-to resources for contacting me in this class. Like I said, all official class announcements will be sent through Canvas. All right, one more chance for the QR code for anyone who didn't get it yet. Great. All right, grading. Let's talk about grading. Your course consists of various aspects. Number 1 is your module exams. We have 4 module exams in total. Module just refers to like a chunk of time. So the first set of topics will be module 1, the second set of topics, module 2, and so forth. 4 module exams, cumulatively worth 45% of your score. Your lowest score will be dropped. So ultimately, you will have 3 exams for your grade, each worth about 15%. Because of my lowest dropped policy, I do not allow rescheduling exams. I don't allow makeup exams. If for whatever reason you're unable to take an exam, illness, family emergency, doctor's appointment, whatever, just miss the exam. You'll get a 0, and presumably that will be your lowest score and hence dropped. Okay. Number 2, your final exam. Your final exam is cumulative. It is worth 20% of your grade. We talked about the date already. Then we have a group presentation that is worth 20% of your grade. Students are going to organize themselves into groups of 4, 3 to 5 students. You're going to pick a topic from a already decided list. And on the very, very last day of the semester, you're going to present it to the class. Lab is worth 10% of your grade. These are those worksheets that I talked about. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. And also not on this side because of the screen. This sits more over here. Lab is worth 10% of your grade. These are worksheets that will be collected, including your lab exams. And then finally, attendance. Attendance is worth 5% of your score. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about attendance. I take attendance very uniquely. What you are going to do for your attendance is every time you come to class or lab, you're going to get your phone out. You are either going to take a picture of yourself in the class, take a picture of your work, or take a picture of the classroom itself. and you are going to upload that picture to Canvas. So you will need to have the Canvas app on your mobile phone. I say this not just for attendance, but for submitting those lab worksheets. So what I want everyone to do right now is to get their phones out. If you don't already have Canvas, download Canvas and upload your picture for attendance. If you're not officially on the Canvas page yet, if you're waitlisted, you can't do anything. But if you have already been registered, if you're on the Canvas page, go ahead and upload your picture. Under modules, it's at the very bottom. It's named according to the date. So for example, today is Monday, August 11th. Please upload your picture to Monday, August 11th. You have two choices. You can either just go on the app and click upload. If you're phone savvy, you can take it right from your phone and upload it to Canvas, and it'll do that. I'm going to teach you a lot of tricks on how to use your mobile phone and Canvas app. It'll make a lot of your life easier, not just for this class, but for other classes. For example, there are ridiculously easy ways to scan and upload your homework assignments to Canvas in less than 10 seconds. All right, just upload your picture to the respective dates. It applies to both lecture and lab. If you forget to take the picture during lecture, take it during lab. If you forget to take it during lab, you have until the end of the day to submit it, 11:59 p.m. Submissions after 11:59 p.m. will be marked as absent, meaning if for today is Monday, if you upload your picture Monday 10 p.m., you'll get credit. You upload your picture Tuesday 1 a.m., you will not get credits. All right, so attendance is on you. I will not always remind you to submit your attendance. It's something you must, of course, do yourself. Do we have any questions so far? Yes. Yes, it should be published. That green check mark tells me it's published. You should be able to take a picture. Under modules, do you mind if I just see what your thing says? Do you mind if I just come back up here? Just needed the refresh. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Yes. You can take a picture of whatever it is. It just needs to prove you were in the class. You can either, like I said, you can either take I've had students take a selfie. I've had students take their notebook, whatever they've been given out. I have two things for you guys, and please don't sit on that side. We still should have space. You won't be able to see the board clearly for how I teach. Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay. I know this all might sound a little confusing, especially since you've probably never done it like this before, but I promise within 2 weeks of doing this, it'll become second nature to you. It's as complicated at the beginning. Extra credit opportunities will be available throughout the semester, most notably when it comes to your exams. So the way how I run my class is a little bit different from the other Gen Chem professors here, like Dr. Daikas. My extra credit opportunities actually take place during class. So what that means is I will come to class with a worksheet, right, with a set of questions, a question bank. Let's say that there are 10 questions in that worksheet. We will do questions 1, 2, and 3 together. You will do questions 4, 5, 6 in class with my supervision. Then questions 8, 9, and 10 will be the extra credit that will apply to your exam. All right. So the idea is that everything you need to pass this class, to do well in this class, is right here in this lecture room / lab. Academic dishonesty, including cheating or plagiarism, will result in automatic assignment failure and possible course dismissal. All course assignments will be submitted through Canvas. Late submissions incur a 1% penalty per hour. If you have an issue with your technological device, if you just don't have the type of a device I can upload, please come talk to me sooner rather than later, because that's something we can work out. We talked a little bit about exams already. 4 module exams will be given with the lowest score dropped. Missed exams will receive 0 with no makeups. And the final exam is scheduled for Wednesday, December 10th, and cannot be dropped. Now, I want to say something about the module exams and the final as it pertains to the cumulative nature of the class. Every year, every semester, I get these kinds of questions. For example, in exam 2, students will ask, hey, how much of exam 1 material do we need to know? Or on exam 4, they'll say, how much of exams 1, 2, 3 do we need to know? In short, you kind of need to know everything. Now, I'm not saying that in the sense of come exam 4, you need to go back and study exam 1. Let me use an analogy to kind of get my point across. Pretend this was an English class. In the very first week, we would learn the alphabet. Then we would learn words. Then we would learn sentences. On an exam, on exam 4, I will ask you, write an essay. To write an essay, you need to know the alphabet, you need to know words, you need to know sentences. So it's not necessarily on exam 4, I'm going to ask you, hey, back in exam 1, what is this? No. But you need to understand the content to really master future content. All right. And that will become clearer as we get to the exam time, as we get to see questions. Okay. Then we have our chemistry in our world group presentations. It's written right here. It says, on the final day of class, students will present real world applications of chemistry through group presentations. I'm always willing to work with the enrollment. Currently, it says 3 to 4 students per group because we typically allow 24 students in the class. I'm okay with going up to 30 students in this class, so that might adjust depending. The presentation should be about 15 minutes long and must demonstrate how chemistry principles explain everyday phenomena. Groups will select from provided topics, and the presentation should include an explanation of the phenomenon as well as the underlying principles, clearly connecting concepts to practical applications. What does that mean? I'll give you an example. Going on Canvas. On Canvas, you should already be able to see under the General tab under Chemistry in Our World, the document that says Group Presentation Assignments. This has the full rubric and the details about it. The topics are listed at the very last page. For example, here are some topics. Number 1, the science of baking. You're going to talk a little bit about how precision and accuracy affects recipes. You may also talk about forensic chemistry, how measurement and uncertainty affects our detective process. Scaling up from lab to industry, molecular gastronomy, the alchemy of brewing. This is a really popular one. People like to talk about how alcohol, beer, and wine is made and how specific chemical factors affect it. We've had one group in years past do tie-dyeing chemistry. They actually carry tie-dyed shirts to show the different parts of their project. Sports science, and one of my favorites, antacids and upset stomach. So you just talk about the chemistry that we learn in this class and how it relates to different principles. There are 10 topics. Like I said, 3 to 5 students per group. So we're looking at maybe 7, maybe 8 groups. Groups are served on a first come, first served basis. So select your groups, then come talk to me and say, hey, me, John Doe, Jane Doe would like to work on project number 1, and I will set that up, no issue. You will see that, and I will get, as we get closer to the date, I'll remind you for the deadlines, but it's a first come, first served basis. Eventually, I'll post what the sample presentations look like from previous semesters. You can see here we have 2 semesters where this is Chem 1A, so Gen Chem 1. Let's look at what this group did for science of baking. Just a very quick 10-minute slide. They talk about what baking is. They talk about what you were expecting. In this particular case, I actually remember they made a video showing how to bake a cake.
A super mega awesome ultra baking video.
Yeah.
So I have my headphones on so you can't hear it.
One cup of sugar.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sugar.
This is just a 2-minute long video of them showing, at least in TikTok style editing, how to make a cake. Oh, don't sit on this side because you can't sit the board.
Yes.
Pick another seat.
This is right.
I wish I could tell you those recommended videos on the right belong to my little brother, but I don't have a little brother. Those are all my recommended videos. As you can tell, I like cartoons, anime, and what's that name? Donkey. Yeah, I like his pretty funny stuff. Okay, that's pretty much it for the group presentation assignment. Labs, we talked a little bit about labs. They will have both handwritten exercises, dry labs, and wet labs, which involve experiments. You will have a worksheet for every lab, and those worksheets will be due at the end of lab. All right. While students are allowed to work in groups for labs, everyone must submit their own complete worksheet. What this means is that just like how it's set up in here, you'll have like a couple people to a bench. All of you at the bench will work together. You will all have the same data, but you will each submit your own worksheet. You are free to work together. In an ideal world, everyone is right and has the exact same answers. But that's not always the case, though. And then about labs, like I said, safety goggles are required. You purchase the ones at the bookstore, they're already verified and safe. If you purchase them elsewhere, Amazon, Home Depot, or Lowe's, just shoot me a message and say, hey, Supreef, is this okay for a lab? And I'll say yes or no. And in general, lab coats are recommended. They're not required. This will become very useful as we get well, it's kind of hot today. It's like 100 degrees today. But oftentimes when it comes to attire, the weather does affect us. I recommend, if you prefer to layer down in the heat, carry a change of clothes for lab. That way it just makes it easier. You'll also have access to lockers that you can reserve over the course of the semester. And I want to make that red text really, really clear. Missing 3 or more lab meetings will result in an automatic failure of the course. I'll repeat that. If you miss 3 labs, 3 or more, so you technically have 4. If you miss 4 labs, you will automatically fail the lab portion of the class and you automatically fail the course as a whole. We do not allow students to pass onwards if they fail the lab course. All right, so you get 3 or more missed lab sessions. Attendance we talked about, mandatory and documented via photo submission. Show their notes, classwork, ongoing lecture, their presence in the classroom. Submissions after midnight will be marked as absent. Now, tips for this course. I kind of alluded to this earlier. This class is very math heavy, very calculus, not calculus, but just algebra heavy. If it's the kind of thing that you struggle at, I recommend you put pencil to paper on every problem covered. One of the biggest mistakes or lies that students tell themselves, and I'm guilty of this too, is I don't need to write this down. I'll remember it for later. Guess what happens when later comes? You don't even remember that you were supposed to remember something, right? So write stuff down, put asterisks, make notes. So that way, when you come to me or a tutor or office hours, you can say, hey, Supreef, I have a note here that says, I was really confused on day 2 when we talked about this topic. I'll be able to say, yeah, let's go over it. No problem. Be more specific. The more specific you are, the better I will be able to help you. Look at that big, bold red text. If a topic is not discussed in lecture, it will not appear on exams. This is my promise to you. Every year, we always get these questions of, Supreef, I saw this in the textbook. I noticed that we didn't go over it in as much detail. Will we be expected to know it? No. Only lecture. All right. There is one additional type of assignment that you may have expected coming into this class that almost every other class has that this does not have. Does anyone know what type of assignment I'm referring to? Starts with an H, ends with an homework. Homework. I don't do homework. All of your assignments and stuff will be in lecture, in lab. I generally do not have expectations for students to work on homework outside of class, simply because any homework I would assign, there are solution manuals online that you can just copy the answer down. So this is all to say, when it comes to exam prep, when you're practicing for your exam, where do you go to get those practice? Now, remember earlier when I talked about those workshops in lab, I talked about how we'll carry worksheets to class. Well, let me take a look at one of them. Just taking a look at this one, number 8. This one goes up to question 20. In class, we will do 5 questions. In class, I will assign to you 5 questions. The remaining 10 will be extra credit. The remaining 10 will be your practice. Because guess what? When I make my exams, it's these worksheets I start off at. I look at these worksheets and I say, hey, I really like number 19. Let me see if I can put that on the exam. Right? So all of this to say is that those workshops, those worksheets that I will be bringing to class, look at this one right here. This one is 11 pages. You will have no shortage of questions in practice. Some will be assigned, some we will do together. Almost everything else will be extra credit that will apply towards the exam. And as we get closer to the exams, I will make it clear, hey, for exam 1, these are the extra credit questions. For exam 2, these are the extra credit questions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Complete all extra credit questions on completion, not on accuracy. You will get 5 points added to your exam or no questions asked. All right. So a lot of how I've designed this class is to gear you to practice preparation and handling questions and answering them correctly. I think I saw a hand over here. Yeah. Did you have a hand, I think? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, if we do 10 in class, let me just actually put numbers to it. So 1 all the way down to 10. I'll do 1 to 3 together, meaning I will be here with my iPad with the questions on the screen, and I will say, all right, question 1 says 2 plus 2. What is 2? What is plus? Let's do it together. Then I will say from questions 4 to 6, you will do either by yourself, with your partners. I will walk around, help out wherever I can. And then 7 to 10 will be the extra credit, just as an example in terms of numbers. Yeah.
And is there any limit to how much extra credit can?
Well, if there's only 10 questions and only 7, 8, 9, 10 is extra credit, there's no more eligible. But we'll have a lot of worksheets. We'll have a lot of workshops to do. If I go back to the syllabus, the first module exam takes place after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major topics. Each topic will have its own extra credit questions, right? So you're looking at, if I were to take a guess, maybe 25 questions of extra credit. You won't get any more extra credit beyond those, though. That's a good question. That's a good question. Anyone else? Yes.
Based off accuracy for those.
You can message me on Discord. You can message me on Canvas. I'll respond as quickly as possible. If I can't help you over text, I'll say, hey, jump on Zoom. We'll talk for 5, 10 minutes. I think of myself as incredibly accessible. The reason for that is that I'm an adjunct, which means I don't have a full office on campus. It's actually only this semester I've been given an office, so I'm not really going to adjust my teaching style just for a couple months. Not entirely anyway. So hit me up on Discord, hit me up on Canvas. I'm always available, very, very available to help. All right, what else do I have here? Attending the blah, 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 hate and bias in the classroom. Woodland maintains a zero tolerance policy towards hate, bias, and discrimination. Any violations will result in immediate removal from class. Regarding the COVID-19 policy, masks are recommended, but they remain optional. Generally speaking, please do not attend class if you're feeling unwell. Regarding missing class, that's why we record lectures, right? If you miss a lab, we can email me. We can either schedule a makeup or we can get you the data in some other way. And if you just happen to miss some practice questions, come on Zoom, come on Discord, come I'll talk to you about it. Come to my office. Does anyone have any questions? Yes. Yes. We are planning to stay here. Yes. Yeah. Correct. So that's actually a very good point. First point out. Notice that our first green isn't until August 25th. Our very first green is August 25th. So we won't be having any going over to lab space, not for the first 2 weeks. Again, the biggest reason for that is we're doing that pilot program. We're still kind of working out some of the kinks, so it gives us some time. Any other questions? Yes.
The Monday of the
It says Chem 1A review. Most likely it'll be oh, you mean on the week of the finals. So that is finals week. No classes are held during finals week at all. So our last day of class will be the 3rd, and that will be presentations. The Monday before will be Chem 1A just review, which technically means our last day of new content will be November 26th, right before Thanksgiving. Right? Any other questions? Great. Okay. I know that we had some of you do it. I know that I had some of you upload the picture already, but I'm just going to take attendance personally so we can take care of the enrollment. I'm going to say your name. Just yell out if you're here or present. Mohammed Ahmed. Okay. Janelle Alamo. Yeah. Amardeep Atwal. Joel Burke. Miguel Bustillos. Valeria Controla. Elliot Kalu. Elliot. Yeah. Eli.
here.
Yeah. Prob. Yeah. Kathleen. Riley. All right, first day stuff is always intense because it's enrollment. Stephanie. Karen. Kai. Kimmy. Naomi.
Here.
Is that how I pronounce it? Naomi? Okay. Lana. Carolina. Melina. Leonardo. Alina. Yeah. Teresa Torres Valadas. Yeah. Haley.
Here.
Catherine West. Okay. All right. That is 24 enrolled students all present. If I've called your name, you are good to go. And we're going to take care of those on the wait list. For those of you I just called your name, see you on Wednesday. So those on the wait list, just stay back. Yep.
Two questions. The first- I tried to open it.
Okay, just I'll take a look on what your app is saying specifically. So ultimately, if you miss class on Wednesday, you won't get credit for attendance, but there will be a recording, so you'll be able to watch it. Okay, let me see what it says here. The data couldn't be read because it's missing. Okay. It's because your data is really weak. You're on 5G. It's not that great in the classroom. So I would recommend connecting to Wi-Fi. Yeah.
It's the
18th of what month? Okay, so let's see which one you're going to miss specifically. Okay. Yeah, we can talk about it as we get closer. Yeah. Okay, so you won't get credit for attendance, but you can watch a recording. All right, now we're talking about those on the wait list. Number 1, Adriana. Okay. Number 2, Sarah Lindquist. Number 3, Naima. Number 4, Gershon. Let me just make sure I have these. I'm missing somebody. Damn. Sorry, just give me 1 second because a name got cut off. You can't see it, right? Okay. Yes.